Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. We are ready for the event.
Shaker Heights School, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Station for a voice check.
Station, this is Brian Child here with the students. How do you hear me?
How you doing, sir? We hear you loud and clear. Welcome aboard the International Space Station.
Thank you. Here's our first question.
My name is Celia from Fernway Elementary. My question is, after all the training and preparations for going to the ISS, what is one thing you were not prepared for and how did you deal with it?
Wow, that's a great question. So we spend quite a few years getting ready to come up to the International Space Station. And the one thing that we cannot simulate on the ground is microgravity. And things float while we're up here, as you can see. I'll float, Mark is floating. And so it really takes a lot of effort to learn how to control that. When I set things down on the ground, you can let it go and it sits there. But in space, it'll float away. And the way you deal with it is every now and then you lose things, as we all know. But then you learn to use Velcro and you learn to keep track of all your stuff. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to that.
Hi, my name is Benjamin from Beaumont Elementary. My question is, why are spacesuits white?
That's another great question. So I can't say with certainty why they're white. I can tell you that one of the benefits of a white spacesuit is that the color white reflects light better and absorbs heat worse. So if you're in an environment where you need to reject heat as much as possible, white works well.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Leslie from Woodbury Elementary. My question is, do your cells in your body adapt to the change from being on Earth to being in space? How?
And I think the question was asking about how the body adapts to being in space, hopefully. So I'll answer that one. It's amazing how the body can get used to being in a different environment so quickly. The first couple of days, for me personally, I don't feel good when I come to space or when I go back to Earth. But after just a couple of days, it feels like we were born to be in space. You learn how to move, you learn how to use your feet, and it becomes very, very natural. So our bodies are pretty good for adapting to different environments.
Hi, my name is Haley from the middle school. My question is, we know you both took part in the recent spacewalks. Can you describe the first feeling you experienced when you were outside and saw the Earth as you were floating above it?
Honestly, my first thought was, be careful, don't make a mistake. We've trained a lot for that event, but somehow it really hit home when I was outside and I could look in any direction and see the horizon of the Earth or the blackness of space, and there was nothing between me and it, literally, other than some few particles of the atmosphere. The very first impression I had was in the airlock, where it's kind of a small tube. If you can imagine two people in a tube, there's lights on, but it's all indoor lighting. And then when the commander who was doing the spacewalk with me opened the hatch, it suddenly felt like we were going outside because we got this intense bright light coming off of the Earth reflected from the sun that came into the airlock and changed the feeling in the airlock. And suddenly I felt like, wow, we're really going to go outside in space.
Hi, my name is Drake McCandlish from Mercer Elementary, and my question is, what inspired you to be an astronaut?
Wow. So when I was really young, probably younger than you, I would watch the films, and film is this old thing we used to use to watch things. And so I would watch the film of the astronauts walking on the moon as part of the Apollo missions, and I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. I would love to do that someday. Of course, it was just a dream of mine. And then I read a lot of science fiction books, and I still like them. And I would read about people going to different planets and doing all kinds of crazy things. And that just kind of kept the dream alive. And so I think from a very young age, I thought it'd be a cool job. I thought it'd be great to go and explore. And when I was teaching middle school, before I became an astronaut, I saw they were looking for astronauts, and they wanted teachers to become astronauts. And I said, wow, this is my chance. Maybe I can get the job. And so I applied, and here I am today on the space station. So it's kind of cool.
Hi, my name is Poplar from Boulevard Elementary. My question is, are you super scared while going out in space away from Earth and while you are actually out in space?
Would you mind repeating that question?
Hi, my name is Poplar from Boulevard Elementary. My question is, were you super scared while going out in space away from Earth and while you were actually out in space?
I was, there was certainly, fear was a factor. I was very attentive. I'm not so certain I was afraid more of physical harm or afraid of just making a mistake. There's so much invested in getting us ready that and so many people are supporting us that the last thing I wanted to do was let anybody down. And I can tell you the second time I did a spacewalk that I really wasn't nearly as concerned as the first time. I realized that physics was on my side, and if I let go of something without pushing hard, I would just stay floating right there. So it took much less effort when I really kind of started getting an instinctual feel for the fact that unless I moved really fast, I wasn't going to move very fast. I was going to go ahead and stay put without any effort at all.
Hi, I am Owe Alua from Anaway Elementary, and my question is, how do you get food in space?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We don't have the supermarket, so we can't go to the store to get food, but we do have what we call cargo vehicles that will come up a few times a year. We actually have one coming up in the next couple of weeks, and it'll bring us all kinds of food, all kinds of supplies. But one thing we've been doing just recently is we're growing some plants. So now we're kind of making our own food. It's not a lot, but we're learning how to do that better in space.
Hi, my name is Kirsten from Wilmot Elementary. My question is, how do you talk to friends and family?
So we're very fortunate because on the International Space Station, we have an internet protocol phone. So basically with satellites, we're able to use the internet and talk to our families. It's not quite as good as being on the ground because the space station has large objects that could interfere with the satellites. So sometimes it's broken up, but really it's very convenient. We can dial just about any phone number.
Hi, my name is Kira from the high school. My question is, were you able to see and predict the paths of hurricanes from space during this hurricane season?
Well, we can definitely see the hurricanes from up here, and we can take a lot of great pictures. that will help scientists learn how the hurricanes behave, how the clouds move. We can't really predict where it's going to go as we're going around the Earth. We see it for a very short period of time, but it is really, really noticeable. And again, we try to provide information to those people on the ground, either the scientists that are studying them or even people that are living potentially in the path of the hurricanes. And then once they pass, if we can also help out by taking pictures of what might have happened afterwards to help with the recovery effort. So there is a lot we can do, and it's one of the nice things about having humans in space is that we can react very quickly to things that we might see looking out the window.
Okay, my name is DeCarla from the middle school, and my question is, why is it so important to go into space?
So I think it's important for us to go to space because it is a challenging endeavor that focuses our attention and the attention of science into learning new things. It also gives us opportunities. So first of all, by focusing on doing challenging things, we end up with lots of what we call spin-off technologies, things that we get unexpectedly that help our lives in the ground right away. Also, because when you do science experiments, it's good to try to change variables and see how things react to get a better understanding of how things work. Well, here in the space station, we're able to have a sense of weightlessness up here, and so then we can see how things behave from combustion to plant growth without that sense of up or down to affect it. And that helps us to better understand how things really work, and then that helps us out in the future. And then I really think the human spirit has a strong desire to explore, and it helps us put perspective on where we live now and understand better how we got here and what the future might hold.
Hi, my name is Ailey from Woodbury Elementary. My question is, if a serious emergency happened while you were in space, what would you do, and would you be able to contact NASA back on Earth?
Yes, hopefully. So we do train for various types of emergencies, and they could be anything from maybe a fire or something might hit us and we get a hole in the space station. Maybe something goes into the atmosphere. But then we could have one of us that might get sick. We might injure ourselves doing work. And so the first thing we would do, it depends on what it is, we'll react to the immediate emergency. If it's a medical emergency, we will call Mission Control and try to talk to one of the flight surgeons there. We have some training, but Mark probably doesn't want me doing too much on him if he has an injury. But having the ground help us in all cases is really important. And if it is something super, super serious, we always have our Soyuz spacecraft that brought us here, and we can hop in that at any time, and we can undock from the space station and then head back home. So we train a lot for it. We're fortunate so far. Everything's been going well, and we'll continue to keep that trend going.
Hi, my name is Jalen from Boulevard Elementary. My question is, can you describe what a typical day on the IS is like?
Sure. So basically, I would say 6 in the morning is when we wake up. 7:30, we have a meeting with the ground to talk about how what's going to either changes or what's going to happen with the day. We've got a schedule that's been uploaded for us, and we work that schedule the whole day. Typically, we've got about an hour for lunch, right?
Yeah, kind of.
But we spend much less than that actually eating lunch. And we work till about 7:30. Part of the workday, though, includes a couple hours, maybe 2.5 hours to exercise. And then after 7:30, we have, at around 7:30, we have another meeting with the ground. And then we have time to get ready for bed, which includes having dinner.
Hi, my name is Anya.
from Fernway Elementary. My question is, what are the qualifications for going into outer space?
Well, that's a pretty interesting question because when you look at the astronauts that are up here, we all have very different backgrounds. But the one thing that we all have in common is we all studied something in the sciences, in engineering or mathematics. And we all have a desire to be in the space, and we all had the dream of coming to space. So today, if you want to become an astronaut, you need to have a degree in one of those fields and then a certain amount of experience. But hopefully someday we can have people go into space on a more regular basis, because all of us have different qualifications, and all of those can be very beneficial to living in space and maybe living on a habitat in a different planet.
Which one? Hi, my name is Isaac from Onaway Elementary. My question is, have you made any important discoveries yet?
There's so many important discoveries that we're trying to make sure we pick out a really good one. I can tell you just one that I'm aware of off the top of my head. And really, I'm not sure that it was a discovery so much as a potential, an item with potential. There's a lot of hope that some lung tissues that we've grown on in the space station may help contribute to finding a cure for cancer. There's also been a lot of learning about regenerating water and making it clean. So we actually recycle all of the fluid from sweat to other stuff, and that's a useful technology to use on the ground. So that's helped contribute to making pure water in places where it's hard to get. And
Good.
that's all I got right now.
Hi, my name is Gabi from Musa Elementary. My question is, how come it's so hard to get through the Earth's atmosphere?
So Mark is the smart one, so he's going to answer that one. He was a physics teacher.
So it's hard getting through the Earth's atmosphere just because of the speed that we are moving at. So right now we're moving 4 miles a second. And if we want to land on the Earth, we want to be going at roughly 0 miles per second relative to the surface of the Earth. And we actually use the atmosphere to slow us down. So that there's a lot of friction, and that generates heat. So that's why going through the atmosphere is hard. It's just the speed at which we're moving.
Hi, my name is Brooklyn from Loma.
Are there germs in space?
Are there germs in space?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question, please?
Are there germs in space?
My name is Brooklyn from Loma.
Okay, so the question about germs in space. Yes, there are germs in space. I'm not sure why I looked at Mark, but so we all have germs in our body, on the outside of our body, but a lot of those are beneficial to us. We do spend a lot of time cleaning the space station every weekend. So if you think you have your chores at home, we have ours as well, where if you were to see us on a Saturday morning, we're like little ants running around cleaning the space station to make sure that some of those bad germs don't take place and start growing some more. But we have them up here, and they are valuable to us as well.
Very much.
station. This is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants from Shaker Heights Schools. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.